Welcome to the hottest real estate topics on the planet, keeping you up to date with all the creative ways to buy and sell real estate without bank qualifying, so anyone can build real income starting today. Here is another great show with Dealmaker Bill and Pete the Rookie.
All right, here we go. That was a little crackly. All right, here we are at another episode of Flipping Houses for Rookies.
Lord help us.
Episode number 213. The title is Unique Ways to Find Creative Real Estate Deals Using the Offer Generator and some new tools.
All right.
So you're going to soon realize, Peter, that having to do my 7 deals, you don't have to think about it anymore. Anybody can do it now.
Yeah.
Anybody can do it.
Oh, totally.
So here we go.
You know, we don't think about that anymore. I'm not going to do the show right now. But I know people go into houses and go, what should I do? Gee, how much would it cost to fix this? Let's get a contractor. You know, all that stuff. Like, they just don't know what to do. But if you have formulas like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, pick one.
Yep.
Right?
So this podcast is specific for those real estate investors who want or need instant deals, need more time with family, need extra income, who want some freedom or need freedom, and overall want to change their life by doing real estate transactions.
Yes, yes.
Big,
Check,
bold
check.
promise.
Yeah.
What most have not realized yet is the coronavirus has changed real estate investing forever. And those who don't make the changes will get left behind like a racehorse with a broken leg.
Oh, jeez. Brutal.
And because it is all new to our industry, it may get overlooked by some guys.
Yeah.
This episode will open your eyes to some of the oldest tricks in the book using today's technology to enhance results never seen before in history, Peter.
History and herstory.
In herstory, yeah. Yet, it is simple enough that a 4th grader can start finding and doing deals. More to the point, why you may not be getting results in this amazing industry during all of the chaos. So grab a cup of coffee, a notepad, and listen up while we introduce some revolutionary workable ways to find creative real estate deals today and start doing them. All you need to do once we finish this podcast is just try. You ready?
Absolutely.
So here we go. One of the most obvious hidden secrets in real estate investing is, One of the most obvious hidden secrets in real estate investing is...
Wait a minute. It's obvious, but it's hidden.
Yeah.
Hidden obviously or obviously hidden?
No, it's obvious hidden secrets.
Wow. That's oxymoronic, Bill.
It's so obvious you don't even realize it's a secret.
Yeah, it's right in front of your nose, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cherry picking the best deals. That's it.
That's it?
One of the most obvious hidden secrets in real estate investing is cherry picking the best deals.
But how can you say that when most people can't even find a deal?
Right.
Right?
But most never get to this because, 1, they don't have enough leads coming in. 2, which automatically creates a scarcity mentality. Neediness, and scares sellers away without the buyer even knowing it.
Yeah.
Did you know, Peter, the more you chase sellers, the faster they run?
Yes, I learned that with girls. That's true. That's kind of just general. Like any kind of sales, that would happen, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, like when you go into a store and the salesman comes over to, oh shit, there comes a salesman. Let's get out of here.
Right.
Can I help you? What are you looking for? Want to try this on? This is a nice one. Look at this one.
Right.
No, you shut up.
Right. Number 3, no system. Without a system to follow up or follow, period,
Yeah.
puts strain on the investor, and he and she does not perform as a reluctant buyer that forces the seller to prove to the investor why they should do the deal. Or in other words, give the seller the buyer's money, whether it's his money or his investor's money or however it may be. Why doesn't the seller have to prove to the buyer that this is a good deal for them? Why do we have this problem?
Yeah.
Which, by the way, number 2 is which automatically creates a scarcity mentality, neediness, and scares the sellers away without knowing it, is the reason why you don't have number 3.
Oh, right.
Right? Because you think every deal counts. You think that because of the amazing math that we teach you, the 7 ways to do deal, and you get on the coaching or on the meetup calls or coaching calls, or I did a surprise call last night, an emergency call last night, right? You think because the deal structuring, the math looks so good that everybody could have a deal like this.
Yeah, you think you talk to the seller. You go, look, I worked it out. This will work for you. He goes, I don't want to do it. What do you mean you don't want to do it? I just did the math. It's fine.
Right.
Guy goes,
Right.
click, right? But he doesn't have to do it just because you have the math worked out.
So if I had to have an analogy, I would say me showing you how to do the math is like the vehicle or the car. Okay? The gas and the map you need to drive the car to get somewhere is the customer's willingness or their want to do the deal.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got a big fancy race car. Yeah, you spent all winter building this hot rod with a 10,000 horsepower engine. But if you don't have a strategy once you get on the race course or on the racetrack, what happens?
Yeah, nothing.
Picture this. Picture this. You get an owner that spends all this money, has a crew that builds this unbelievable race car, like a NASCAR 500-mile race, right? And the driver never worked out once and has no stamina. And, 400 miles into the race, the driver peters out and can't finish the race.
Yeah, we say poops out. We don't use my name in that.
We'll carry on.
We'll carry.
Number 4.
Bill, I have an analogy.
Go ahead.
This is my poor wife. You take her to the finest restaurant. You buy her the best lobster dinner, everything, and you put it in front of her. Glass of wine. She goes, I don't drink wine. I don't like lobster. What do you mean? Poor girl, she just doesn't have that appetite. So you make the best offer. Like, I made ravioli. I don't like ravioli. It's gone. So, if the person doesn't want what you're pitching, forget it.
All right, so we're covering, so how do you cherry pick deals? Well, first of all, you have to have enough coming in. Second of all, you have to automatically you can't have a scarcity mentality or neediness and scare away your sellers, right? You have to have some sort of a system, right? Without a system, it puts tremendous strain on the investor.
Yeah.
Now, if I had to pick, and there's 2 more that we got to talk about, but if I had to pick the number 1 thing that happens to real estate investors, especially in the beginning, it's the strain of finding the deal and then transacting the deal. When you first get into real estate investing, you're trying to figure out, first of all, what are all the different kinds of investing I could do? What should I decide or what should I choose?
Right.
Which is so wrong, because here's the deal. No pun intended. Here's what happens. You do the deal that shows up. You don't pick a deal unless you're doing one specific type of marketing. Like if you want to do just a wholesale deal, that means you need to go find that wholesale audience, right?
Yeah.
You have to You have to find a congregation or an audience that wants to believe what you have to offer, so when you tell them your message, they believe you.
Yeah.
But if they don't want to believe you, you got nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's kind of like what you're saying with your wife. You know, she has to want to have lobster.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, what's the sense?
Sure.
Right? If she doesn't want to have lobster, then you're dead. No matter what you present her, she's going to say no.
That's right.
Right? So you have to have a seller who wants to sell quickly, right? And you have to have a seller, because a couple months ago I started coming up with separating sellers, right? You have to have somebody that wants to sell fast, or someone who wants to sell for his price. It's a big difference in those two.
Right. So he either needs to move quick and he'll take that lower number,
Right.
or he wants a higher number and he's willing to wait. Correct?
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Number 4, in very many cases, what happens is the investor goes through the first couple stages I was just talking about, and then goes off looking for another shiny object, thinking that there's something wrong with the system.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't ever really use or get the real results that the system is supposed to produce, or what the investor desires. Right? So the investor doesn't have a third eye on himself. He doesn't think when something doesn't work that it's possibly him or her.
Yeah.
Right?
He's not being objective enough.
Yeah, he thinks it's something else or someone else. You know, those are the guys that blame things on the market. You know, or somebody charged me $5,000 or $40,000, and we had a coaching call every 2 weeks for 30 minutes, right? Instead of looking at, well, what did we get out of it?
Yeah.
Right. You know, those 30 minutes. You know, you spend time with me. It's not the amount of time you spend with me. It's what I say that matters.
You know, I went to pick up some equipment I had fixed. I was talking to the wife. I know she's a friend up the street, just casual chit-chatting. And she has some problems. I just chit-chatting about general stuff, and I had some suggestions, asked her a few questions. 5 minutes. When I walked away, she says, "You know what? I learned so much in 5 minutes." And I mostly asked her questions and said a couple of things. So in 5 minutes, you can. And she ran off and goes, "Oh, I feel so much better." And I saw her later, "Oh, I feel so much better. I did what you said." 5 minutes, if you just do the right thing.
Yeah.
Right? I was surprised.
We did a couple podcasts ago, the difference between pitching offers and selling offers. Pitching is that you have your subjective idea of what the seller needs, and you're just trying to shove it down their throat.
Yeah.
Think of it as them. That's the numbers portion of what we were talking about earlier. It's like, oh, but you only have a 60% loan to value ratio on your house, so you should take the rehab retail deal or the subject to deal. And the guy's like, no, I want full asking price. Just because I owe 60% doesn't mean I should take less money.
Yep.
So the selling part is what comes in. So if you're pitching the guy on the math, it's like, you should do this rehab retail deal because that's the only thing you know how to do, which is the other problem, because you only know how to do one deal. Instead of asking the seller questions, like last night we were doing role playing I did an emergency call for a question and answer call for my email list, and we were on the call about 90 minutes, and they were talking about subject 2. So somebody brought something up, and it's like I just went into role play with them, right?
Yeah.
I started asking questions, and one of the questions, because that's what happens with new investors, is they don't think of penetrating somebody's social veneer. Like the veneer on a coffee table. It's very thin. Once you get below that, you're going to realize that it's pressboard.
Yeah,
it's not walnut or maple or oak. It's pressboard.
Yeah.
Right. So you have to get past that thin layer of their socialness and find out what's really going on. And one of the questions that I asked the student was, so you want 20 grand, what are you going to do with the money? You got to be willing to ask those questions. Mm-hmm. Right? Lastly, all this adds up to confusion and a serious lack of hitting goals and causing failed purposes in one's life. So they have a purpose and they don't hit that purpose. They think they're going to make, $5,000 by next month, and they don't hit that. That acts like a failure. Right?
Yeah.
And also could act like paralysis of analysis, and in most severe cases, it ends up with procrastination.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Nothing like losing, huh?
Right. What if there was a way to make it so simple you would need to have amnesia to forget it? That'd be cool, right?
Yeah.
So today I'm going to give you a mini blueprint to get you going and rekindle those failed goals and purposes. I see you, Desiree. Desiree's on Facebook.
She's in.
She said, "That's me."
Yeah. Well, since those last couple of podcasts, I ask more questions in anything and try to agree more than disagree as a way to starting a conversation, then ask more questions. And I ran into just what you're talking about. I'm ramping up my promotion machine, my outflow machine right now, and I did have a few leads, and I had one that I thought was pretty good. And I sent something to the guy, and I'm waiting, and he's not responding, so he's not that interested. I drove by the property just to see if I was interested, and it smelled kind of like dead rats. I said, I don't think I'm that interested anyway, so I'll just play it cool. If he pitches,
the property stunk so bad that when you were driving by, you could smell it?
I pulled into the driveway and walked into the back. It wasn't that bad, but I was outside.
Okay.
And it was like, it was a little bit like, I draw the line someplace, so I wasn't that interested.
Ron LeGrand teaches the uglier they are, the more you make.
Yeah, so it's not like I'm not doing it, but I'm not chasing him for it either, and that'd be the wrong thing to do. So I sent an email for some information, and he didn't respond.
Ron LeGrand is not wrong, but that's an old saying.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah, we've done those. We've done those. I'm chasing a house that's really difficult. Nobody knows what to do with it. Nobody even knows who owns it. The city doesn't. I'm kind of playing a game. I shouldn't chase a house, but no one else knows. I'm in tight with the town, and maybe I'll get it, maybe I won't. But I'm learning things along the way, so it's a learning experience if nothing else. But my point is, I'm not putting all my money, my energies into this one house because somebody answered me. I have a few other ones, and I got a nice machine going. I'll just keep ramping it up. I'll get something better. So I'm not going to worry about it.
Right. Good. All right, so you ready for the system?
Shoot.
You should write these down.
I'm going to.
Don't try to improve them or change them until after you get substantial results. Mm-hmm. So just do as I'm telling you. Do as I say, not as I do. Remember when you used to tell your kids that?
All right,
here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Go ahead.
Go to Facebook.
Go to Facebook.
Yes. Go to Facebook. I was waiting for you to get your paper and pencil there.
Well, I'm all set.
Okay, good. You're going to want to go to Facebook Marketplace. This is nothing new. Mm-hmm. What I tell you, this is old ideas with new technology.
Right.
Okay? On the left side, when you're on Facebook Marketplace, on the left side, there's different things that you can get, right?
Yep.
What we're going to do is we're going to choose rentals first, and I'll explain later. You can also do for sale, house for sale, but for right now, we're going to do rentals.
Mm-hmm.
Once you click on the rentals, the page will change, and on the left side, there's a filter or filters.
Yep.
So you want to change the filter to these things. So there's a price range, which I don't use. You could, if you're following my flippinghouses4rookies.com/virtual. If you're following that system in Zillow, then I show you how you can figure out what price range you should be in and all that kind of stuff. So if you're following that, you can put that in here. If you're not, it's not a big deal. So on the left side, it starts with price range. I don't use that. Location is next. Okay.
Yeah.
And I just use a city. I use a major city if I could. I've even done the state, like the state of Connecticut.
Right. They don't have county?
I haven't tried it.
City. What else do they offer? Like zip code or something?
Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah.
So hang on one second. So the guys are gone and the water's fixed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you doing your podcast with this Monday?
Yeah. All right, so you're going to do a location. Okay? The next thing you're going to do is you're going to do within a mile range. These are all top to bottom, okay? Mm-hmm. So I usually do 40 miles, I'll do 25 miles, I'll do 30 miles. It depends on how I feel that day. Because some days I may be inside like today, may be inside all morning, and I'll think, I might want to take a ride in my car and smoke a cigar today.
And if it's
So
a
I'll
big
go
cigar, you need a 40-mile radius.
Right. But if if I'm kind of like got a hair across my ass and I'm like, I'm only driving 10 miles today.
Okay.
But you picked a radius. I'm just joking around. Right? Then next thing you want to do is you want to sort, and this is probably the most important field. So the city, the location, and the next field is probably the most important. It's sort by like the oldest to newest.
Oh, right.
I picked the oldest.
Okay.
Okay, because that means they've been on Facebook for a while, and I hopefully will have a seller that's starting to humble.
Sure.
Right?
Yep, he's not cocky like, hey, my house is going to sell in 3 days.
Yeah, I just put it on there. I haven't got enough offers, and mine is the best one in the neighborhood, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, about
Okay.
30, 40 days later, not so much.
Yeah. I'm not sure if Facebook rentals will go that long, but, it'll be a week or 10 days down the road. So, all right, so the next one down, you can set the bedrooms, the baths, the rental type, like condos, houses, rooms for rents, townhouses, that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So what I'll do is I'll go in and I'll do like houses first, and then I'll do what I'm going to tell you I'm going to do here in a few minutes. And then if I get tired of doing that, or if I run out, which I haven't run out yet, the cities that I work in, I haven't run out of leads yet. But I'll just switch it from like a house to a townhouse or a condo, and I'll just get more leads. There are plenty of leads. So the reason why we're doing this is because my coach, the guy that helps me occasionally, made a comment to me that Marketplace is the new Craigslist. So that's why we're using it.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the last field that you want to use for your filter is going to be the square feet, which I don't do. So the main things that I do is I do the location, my city, I do the miles within a radius, and you don't have to use my cigar gauge if you don't want. And I do the oldest to newest. So I do the oldest. Those are the three main categories that I sort with.
Yep.
Okay. This will give you a lot of properties to search. Okay. Now, I use rentals because I find it's easier to convince people that have a rental property to sell than to have a person that has a property for sale to do rental.
Right. Well, somebody who's renting, eventually they probably want to sell, even when they're really old or they have something in mind. Eventually, you can't rent it forever. You're going to die someday. You got to exit somewhere. It may not be soon, but that's part of the strategy. I don't think a guy selling is thinking, well, if I can't sell it, I'll have to rent it. They don't want to, though.
Right. So this is a stupid analogy, but think of this. So I'm with my sister in the living room, and we're watching TV. Right?
Right.
And she says, I'd like to get some ice cream. I'll be like, yeah, ice cream's good.
Ice cream.
So we put our shoes on and we get ready to get in the car and we walk outside and son of a gun, the ice cream truck drives by.
Wow.
We're like, oh my God. I was
guys
thinking
are
about getting
psychic.
some ice cream. Like, there he is, the ice cream truck.
You guys are like psychic, man.
Right? Or we could do something, or the same scenario would be like, I want to get some ice cream. Okay, let's go get some ice cream. And we put our shoes on and we go out to the car, and all of a sudden the guy next door has some problem and a bunch of fire engines and ambulances and all that shit like show up and block the road so we can't get the car out of the driveway.
Wow.
Okay? We still want ice cream. We're still going to get it, but there's a deterrent. Right?
Yeah.
So that's the difference between, in my head, it's such a stupid analogy, but in my head, between rent own. So like when you're dealing with rentals, it's like, I want to get some ice cream. Oh my God, I never thought of the ice cream truck coming by my house. Oh, that's pretty cool that I can even do that. Where the guy that has a house for sale, it's like, no, I wanted my $200,000.
Yeah.
But I have to get around the emergency vehicles and go, do this weird route. Instead of taking a right out of the driveway, I got to take a left, and I got to go around the block, and I got to go this, and it's just a longer route. It's harder for me to get my money.
That's right.
Okay, not that it doesn't work that way, because it does work that way. Because one thing you should realize that we preach, meaning you and I preach a lot, is there has to be some exchange for the seller to be willing to want to wait for their money. So you can't ask for a discount and make them wait for their money.
No.
Unless there's some other problem to be solved that is more stressful or pressing on them than the money and waiting. Like, I'll give you an example. You have a person that has a job transfer.
Right.
And they need to move out of state. And this job pays them like an extra 50 grand a year. Or 20 grand a year, or whatever the number is. Right? And the house is here, and they're having trouble. They don't want to worry about the house and worry about all the problems that go with the house while they're trying to get a new job started. Because they have to go, let's say that I'm in Fort Myers. Let's say they're in Cape Coral. So let's say that they're in Cape Coral, Florida, and the job is in Atlanta, Georgia. So they got to pack all their shit up, get it up to Atlanta, Georgia, find a place to live, right? Get it all unpacked, and then get into their job and start learning their new job.
Yeah.
They don't want to have to worry about having to rent their house, or they don't want to have to pay a rent and a mortgage, so all these things are weighing on them. Right? So that person has something other than the money on their mind. So that person will take a discount and will let you make them monthly payments because you're solving a bigger problem for them.
Right.
Right? So that's important. It depends on what kind of a lead you have.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
So basically, in a long story here, what I'm telling you is that because Facebook sorts by rentals, which by the way, Zillow does too. There's another site we use, which I think is Zumper, which is mostly the northeast, but every territory has a rental site.
Right.
If you just go on there and look for, houses for rent, you'll find sites on Google. So just to punch it in to make sure that I'm getting understood here, okay? Using the rentals, it's easier to convert somebody like, would you be, because a sentence we're going to send them, I'm going to give it to you in a minute, but would you be willing to rent for a year or two and then sell it to me, right? When you say and sell it to me, the person that's renting is going to be like, oh, I never thought of that. I didn't know you could do that, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to a for sale by owner, you send that same message to them and they're like, no, why would I rent it? I can get $200,000. Why would I do that?
Yeah. They're not at that point, haven't given up yet.
Yeah.
So to the renter, it's kind of like a bonus. Wait a minute, I can rent it, then have the pot of gold and cash in a couple of years. Well, I'd rather wait maybe 5 or 6 years. We can wait 5 or 6 years, whatever it is, but there's somewhere down the road.
Well, here's the thing. It was like what I was saying before, okay? It's like they want to believe. It's kind of like what you were saying with Mary,
Yeah.
you know. So in this particular case, the landlord or the person renting is already renting.
Yeah.
So they want to believe they're going to get a monthly check.
Mm-hmm.
Or they've already decided they believe that they can get a monthly check. Right?
Yeah.
Now what you're doing coming on is somebody that wants to believe that already, you're coming along and saying, "Oh, well, did you know you know I can rent it from you and then sell it to me later on, right?" Well, they're going to rent it anyways. So what do they got to lose? If you perform, then they're a winner. It's like there's nothing extra, nothing out of their pocket. There's no deterrent for them to sell to you. It's like if he performs, oh well, he performs.
Yeah, if nothing else, you just rented the house for the guy.
Right, and which is what he wanted originally anyways. Mm-hmm. Okay. So it makes sense?
Yeah, it reminds me of the flip side of this. When we go to sell the houses, there's people that are renting houses because they can't buy them. I actually got one right at the cross corner right here from me, and they're a bunch of yahoos. And I was talking to a neighbor, and it's a long story, but it's like, it's not a very nice property because they're renting it. They're not taking care of it. It's a bit of a mess. But they're renting. But when somebody's renting and they find out they can rent it and then buy it, they're usually surprised, right? Like, me and I can rent it and then buy it? Holy crap, honey, we can buy this one. They're flabbergasted. So the same thing on the other side for the guy renting, it's like the flip side of that.
Right. And I'm going to talk about that in a couple of minutes. So, all right, so let's move on, okay? Mm-hmm. So here's the magic no one else is going to teach you. This is the magic. So going on Facebook and looking at Marketplace, there's probably a bunch of people like, "Bill, I already thought of that. I'm a step ahead of you."
Yeah.
Right? I've already been doing that, some people might be saying, right? But here's what they aren't doing. Because if there's one thing that we know about Bill, is Bill would much rather be at the smoke shop, smoking his cigars with his buddies, than doing what, Pete?
Working.
Typing a bunch of
Typing.
shit on Facebook, looking for a house.
Fishing
Okay.
for houses. You'll fish for fish, but you don't like fishing for houses. You'll have me fish, someone else fish, or some auto something or other thing fish for you.
If I don't mind working. I definitely put in my days and I definitely put in my time. But
Yeah,
what
you don't
I
like
do
doing
is-
chump work. You don't
I
like
do
doing
it-
chump work.
Yeah, I do it on my terms, for sure. Ask my wife. I'll never forget the first day because I work in my office. She comes in my office and she sits down. She opens the door. She doesn't knock. She opens the door and just sits down. And I look at her and I say, "Yes." She goes,
May I
"I need
help
to talk
you?"
to you about something." I said, "Not now." This was a while ago. It was a few years ago.
Before you trained
She
her?
goes, yeah, well, I was training her. I just read the book Time Management from Dan Kennedy, and he talks about the guy that comes in and wants to talk about the baseball game, right? And I'm thinking, she's not talking to me about the baseball game. She's a time vampire right now, and she's getting out of my office. So I let her know in no uncertain words that it wasn't her time, it was my time, and she was to get out of my office. That lasted about 3 days. She practically didn't talk to me, which was a good thing. We finally came around to that it was a good thing, but I had to train her. Anyways, just a side note there. This tool that I'm going to teach you about is easy enough for a fourth grader to use. And when I was showed it, I was actually showed it a month ago from my coach. And I didn't quite get it, and then we came around to it again last week, and I okay, so that's the second time he suggested I go look at this thing. I better go look at it because it was too simple, and I didn't know how to use it.
Oh,
Actually, the tool itself, I knew how to use that, but I didn't know where the application was. Then I figured it out. This tool is called a text expander. Okay.
Yep.
So just go to Google and type in text, T-E-X-T, expander. Basically what happens is you set up in this tool anything you want. It could be Did you just lose your power?
I did. Okay, it's
Oh,
back.
it's back on. Wow.
Yeah, no, this is, we have 600,000 people without power in Connecticut right now.
Yeah.
This is our third day.
So this text expander does pictures. It does, I don't know if it does videos, but I think it does everything else. It does pictures, it does text, it does graphics, it does, emojis, it does all that stuff.
Okay.
So what happens is you go into the tool and you set up whatever you want to communicate, right? Like, for example, I did yesterday for my VA, my virtual assistant. I have when I send offers, right?
Yeah.
Well, I use my own tool, just the thing that everybody that most have bought, which I hope by now you have bought. If you haven't, you should go check it out. I have an offer pack, right, and it includes the offer calculator, which I'm going to talk about in a few minutes, and it includes a letter and all that stuff. So when we send them by email, it occurred to me, I wonder what the VA is writing in the email.
Oh.
When they send the offer, because I had a couple coaching clients, right, that were sending these letters and they were getting people ghosting them. In other words, they were hiding.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? So let me just take care of this. So what happened is it started making me wonder what they're typing. So what I did is in this text expander, you can actually set up a short code. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So like I put my short code is email offer.
Yep.
So what I do is I go into my email, and all I do is I type in email offer, and as soon as I do that, I don't do anything. I just type those words. I don't have to hit anything else. It automatically loads the entire email already typed out for me.
So that little short code triggers the whole message.
Right. And it's the same all the time.
Now, is this texting or emailing now?
So that's my point. It's text, not like text on your phone. It's text like words.
So you can use this for text or email?
You can use it for texting. What we're going to use it for here is for messaging on Facebook. Anywhere where you would type text, you can use this tool.
So instead of sitting there all day typing, it's already ready to go. Saves time, but you already have a nice thing laid out what to say.
Right. So what I did, and we're going to go over this now. Okay. Let me catch up to myself. So, I took the script, the FSBO script, and we have another script we're using from the Accelerator program. I took that script and put that entire script into my text expander account. Right? So like I call it LO, which is lease option. So I do LO1, which is the question, is the house still for sale? LO2 is, are you the owner? LO3 is, what would you be, LO3 is, would you be willing to lease the house for a year or two, then sell it to me? That wouldn't work for you, would it?
And these would be 3 separate messages?
Yeah, and so when I'm in Facebook, all I have to do, or anywhere, if I'm texting anywhere, I just type in LO3, and that question automatically populates the field, and I push send.
Yeah. Nice.
Okay, so I made these snippets. They call them snippets. So if anybody's listening to this podcast and actually wants those snippets, I'm probably going to make a video and sell this here in the next couple of weeks. But if you're listening to this podcast and you want the snippets, then send me a support ticket with your name and email address. And I'll have you know, Peter, or have our listeners know, that when you're in my system, I can see how many emails you open, how many videos you watch, and how active you are with me. So when you call me and ask me for a request for free stuff, I go look and see how active you really are. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't change. I'm still going to send you the link, but I just want you to know that I can see, because software is that way, where you've been in my system. Okay? So
He's like Santa Claus, folks. He sees you when you're sleeping.
Exactly.
He sees you when you're working. Don't be slacking off.
Okay, so now that I have my Text Expander account set up, which, by the way, you could get a free 30-day trial for this. And then, you ready for this, Pete?
Uh-huh.
It costs $40 a year.
Well, I guess I could probably borrow that.
Yeah.
$40 for the whole year?
Yeah.
And there's no charges for using it?
Nope.
Per minute, per word, Really?
You can download it on your computer, on your iPad, on your cell phone. You can do it on Mac. You can do it on Windows. It covers all the devices.
So, okay.
Okay. It's an amazing tool. When you hear the rest of this podcast and see what we're talking about, this Text Expander makes the entire system work.
Well, I'm getting two ideas from it. Obviously, the thing of the shortcut, the term is short code. That's a new word for me, short code. You put a word or two in, and it triggers the whole message. It can be pretty long, too, right?
Well, listen to the words. It's Text Expander.
Yeah.
So you put in one or two words, and it expands the whole thing. I wrote a whole email. It had to have been, 100 words.
Yeah.
You can do letters. You can do, how about this one? You could actually do a email where you put the short code in the subject column, and it fills out the subject column and the body of the email. You don't have to go two places. It does the whole thing. Like suppose you got customer support, and you're a company that has customer support. You could put in there support ticket 1 or whatever. Just put a short code in there that everybody would know. Right? Right in the subject column, and it populates the subject column, and it populates the email at the same time.
So is this what I'm seeing when I contact companies, here, get some help, and you go click, 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 and they answer this, like, let's say, bullshit response.
Right.
They're like, okay, that's close to what I'm asking, and you ask something else, and it sends another bullshit kind of response, because they're not really there. They're just...
So
is that
I don't
the
know
same
if they're
type of
using Text Expander, but
something
they
like that?
are trained to type the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I can't seem to be one of those people that just take something for face value. I have to dig into it, and I have to go further than the average bear, right? Because I like picnic baskets, like Yogi Bear says, going further than the average bear, right? So what I think is that when I'm like my VAs, my virtual assistants, how do I easily train them to communicate like me?
Right. That was the second thing I thought. Your message, not just how fast it is, but the right message.
Yeah.
The right lines.
Right. So anybody that has, and we talked about fear last week, which, by the way, really surprised me because that podcast bombed. we talked about fear. I thought that was a big topic. It bombed. I mean, I had the lowest listening rate that we've had in months and months and months, probably 6 months.
Bill, I've done a lot of lectures in my time, and there's some really important topics, but there's things that people don't want to face.
Yeah.
They just don't want to.
that was that
they're
last
so
week.
afraid they don't want to face the conversation about it.
Maybe.
That's
Well,
my
here's my point. Here's my point is, what better way to learn how to talk to sellers and get them warmed up for a deal than to have me talk to them for them?
Yeah.
So let's say you're a student, Peter, right? Mm-hmm. And you're looking for deals. And all you have to do is go on Facebook and find the deal, and then I'll take over for you. Would you like that?
Duh.
Okay? That's what this is like. Because if you take my script and you plug it into your Text Expander, you're using my words as if I'm talking to them. So what training do you need to get now? What education? How much? I'm telling you, send me a support ticket and I'll send you the snippets. It's already done for you. I don't know how long I'll do that. So, I kind of regret. I'll probably regret this. 3 months down the road when somebody's listening to the podcast. But the point is this. It's already done for you. Even if you just took the script yourself and you entered the script in yourself and you had this tool, like I said, let's just move on. So my shortcode I use most is LO, like for lease option. That's why I use LO. LO4 is my one. And it expands to this sentence. You ready? Now this is a brand new sentence. I've never said this sentence in public.
And you use this more than anything?
Yep.
Okay, what is it?
Would you be willing to lease your house for a year or two without the landlord obligations, then sell it to me? Because I'm in a different environment now, right? Because the first thing that somebody thinks when they hear, would you rent to me, right? Or would you lease to me? The first thing they think of is, I'm not going to get paid and they're going to damage the house.
Yeah.
Or I don't want to go out at 2 o'clock in the morning and unplug a toilet. Those are the three main objectives. So if you tell them they don't have the landlord obligations, they'll be like, how do you do that?
Yeah. Well, that's a great incentive and a great value bonus to doing something like this. I mean, to do something, you have to have a benefit. What I like about how you negotiate is if you ask for something, you give something. If they ask for something, you take something. If you're asking them to wait a while, well, what's the upside? Well, you don't have any landlord duties. Oh, okay. That's a benefit. They'll look into it instead of just click, shut it off, and go home. So that's smart to put that in there. Because that's the one thing they probably don't like about renting right now, right?
Right.
I'll rent it, but, hope they don't call.
Right.
So you put that in there, that relieves probably the most annoying part of it, besides not getting paid.
Curious. Now they're curious. They want to carry on the conversation.
Yeah. How would you do? Yeah. How would you do that? Right.
So what it does is it takes me from begging, right? Takes me from begging and being needy, because when you send a text and saying I want to lease for a year or two, it's like, oh, this guy doesn't have enough money, or this person doesn't have money to buy my house.
Yeah.
So it's like automatically puts you in this begging stage, right? Or neediness stage, like you need them, right? By adding those two words, that sentence, or four words without the landlord obligations, what happens is it flips the tables to them now wanting me instead of me wanting them.
Yeah. Well,
so now,
boy, this guy knows something.
They're curious, and I have something they don't have, and anything you have that somebody else can't have, the most richest, most famous people will come out and try to buy it from you.
Yeah.
Right? So all it does is it flips the tables on the question where instead of them feeling like you need them, now they're curious. They need you. They're like, oh, you mean I could rent and not have landlord obligations? How does that work?
Yeah.
It totally spins the tables 100%.
Yeah, because people don't know how to do that. And that's a big problem for landlords.
Right. Okay. Now, if you think this is cool, fasten your seatbelt because I'm going to turn on the turbo button. Okay? But before I do that, I want to make a disclaimer. Okay? And I'm going to try to compose myself while explaining this, okay? If you're on my email list, you know that I call Facebook Flakebook, which I stole from Ben Settle. Ben Settle is where I've heard that originally. Ben Settle is a copywriter email guy who is amazing. Right?
Yeah.
So I call it Flakebook, right? So here's the deal. The governor of Connecticut, the piece of shit that he is, and the guy that owns Facebook, the piece of shit that he is, read the same book on liberalism. Okay? So these guys actually feel, and if you're liberal and you don't like what I'm saying, get off my podcast. And I'm okay with that. See ya, bye. Because that's not how the world runs. Okay? The world runs based on products produced in exchange. And if you don't like that or you think that that's a bad thing, then move to Germany or something like that because you're in the wrong country.
Yeah.
Okay?
Not to get too far up, but liberal had a different meaning years and years ago. And one of the ways to twist things in this world is take a word and keep changing what it means, and you lose the real meaning. I'm really a liberal person in one meaning, and so are you, but not like, let's just give people stuff. Let's just give stuff to people. That's communist destructive, socialist destructive. Now we have some of that to help people in trouble, but they've taken the word to a place that is not productive. They promise, and then you're screwed in the end. So no.
Right. So my problem with that is I don't want to work as hard as I do and then have to give my money to 5 or 6 people because they didn't work. That's my problem with it. Okay. So Facebook platform is very liberal and will not give you the addresses of these houses. They will not give you the email addresses of these people. They will not give you the phone numbers of these people. So this is not like going on to Zillow where you can get their phone number or their email address and you know the address.
Well, you can look up the house even, so you can't even look up there's no address on the house? I didn't notice that.
Right.
Wow.
Because Facebook, I don't know if you know this, but when we do Facebook ads, you can, so like, and my coach, who's a Facebook genius, figured this out. I'll tell you a quick story. So he had a client that had a specific product which showed people how to figure out how to fill out government forms. Facebook, if you put an address in Facebook and you want to hone in your ad to that specific address, like suppose I own a store and I want to put my address in and then do like a 5-mile radius around my store, Facebook won't let you do that. Because they hide. They're fearful people and they hide. They don't want to be found. They don't want stalkers. They don't want all, that's what it's made of. It's like, these people that post on Facebook got big balls until you get in front of them and all of a sudden you find out they're cowards. Okay?
Yeah.
Not everybody, but there's a lot of people that listen to me right now that know they post things on Facebook they would never tell somebody to their face.
Sure.
Right? So because of that, which by the way, my guy who his name is oh my God. Will Irish. Will Irish. Go look him up. He's a great guy. He's a Facebook guy. Will Irish is his name. Go check him out. Okay?
Yep.
What he did is he figured out a way for this guy that had the specific forms that he would do. He got the address of the government office and he put the address in there, and then he figured out how he could exclude addresses around it, and he figured out how to mark it so that Facebook ads only went to that address. So what would happen is people would be in this office waiting to fill out their government forms, right? And they'd be strolling through Facebook, and they would see an ad say, "You don't have to go to this office to fill out your forms. I can show you how to do it without ever having to come downtown." It's genius.
Wow.
Okay, but he had to do this entire workaround just to get the address.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what my point is.
Okay.
So here's the thing. You're going to have to ask for these. Now, just like what Peter says all the time, somebody has a house for sale. When you call them, what is your little interpretation? Hey, Edith, or what do you say to the wife?
I don't know. I'm not sure where you're going. What? What I call?
Listening to me.
No, I am, but I don't know where.
So when your seller has a call and somebody calls them, they're like, "Hey, somebody called about the ad." The husband says to the wife or whatever.
Yeah, when you're calling somebody that's advertising a house, and you feel like, "Geez, I'm calling somebody. I don't want to bother them." They're trying to sell the damn ice cream.
Right.
They want to sell the ice cream. So you call the house, whoever answers the phone, they get excited. They go, honey, somebody's calling
There you
about
go.
the house. They're just happy that you're calling.
Right.
You know,
So
you're not bothering
when
them.
you ask for the address and you ask for their phone number, or they want to text you, it happens easily. If it doesn't, they're a suspect anyways.
Yeah.
Right. So the other thing you could do is, because it's Facebook, you can go right to the seller's profile.
That's right.
And you can look up the seller. Now, what I often do, not often because quite frankly I don't give a shit, but what I often do is I'll go to the profile and see if they're a realtor.
Oh. Yeah. So once people talk to you, though, they can tell you the address and everything else unfolds at that point, right?
Right. So do as I do, ask them if they want some offers. So just like what we were talking about before, you got to turn the table. So what's in it for them? That's the radio station, WIIFM, right? What's in it for them? Right? So you have to give them, have to dangle a carrot in front of them. Right? So the way you do that is when they say, yes, I would be interested in a rent to own or lease options or taking payments, you don't have to do much. Would you like if I sent you some offers? Right?
Yeah.
So they say yes, then here's what you need. These are the things you need. You need the property address. You need the seller's or the renter's email address. And you need the seller or renter's text phone number if you can get it.
Yep.
Now they'll gladly give them to you because you're curious. Now, if you get a realtor, which you are going to do because because Facebook is trying to get their marketplace popular, so what they've done is they've got scraping tools that go out and scrape sites like Zumper and HomeSnap and Zillow and stuff like that, and they're dragging these deals into Facebook Marketplace to make Facebook Marketplace look like a bunch of people are posting houses on their site.
You're kidding. So people aren't doing all these posts, they're pulling them in.
These are faceless people. They're scaredy cats. They're cowards.
No, but I'm saying
That's what I'm telling you. They're liberals because they trick you and they make you believe that they're posting up these houses for sale. Because some of these ads, when you do what I'm going to tell you in a few minutes, okay? These ads are designed. Some of them, when you open them, you'll actually get a messenger reply. So in other words, you send them a message in Facebook Messenger.
right.
Some of them are not a Facebook Messenger. You pull it up, it asks for your email address, and it asks you to send a message. So it sends it back to HomeSnap or back to Zumper or back to Zillow, and then they send you an email. So they're not even on the Facebook platform.
I got it. So they pulled them in. Facebook pulled them from these other sources.
Right.
Do you do that step, or do you skip the emails?
No, I do. It's outflow. At this point, it's just outflow.
Yeah.
So Brian's on Facebook right now. He's saying very true. He's like pumping me up right now because Brian's saying that what I'm saying about faceless Facebook people is very true. I know it's true because I've been on Facebook a long time. Now, let's turn this turbo switch on. You ready?
Yep.
So you're going to give them 3 offers. You're going to talk to them using my script, so it's as if I'm working for you, right? Mm-hmm. That's for free. Just go to flippinghousesforrookies.com/free stuff. Oh, which, by the way, I keep forgetting to do this. Son of a bitch. We changed the podcast descriptions. So if you want to get this free stuff, if you want to go to our free stuff page, all you have to do is go to the description of the podcast, and there's a link in there that you can get all of our stuff. So you don't have to come off the podcast. So if you're on your phone right now and you're listening to us on the phone, scroll down to where it says descriptions, and the bottom of the description, there's a link there to go get all of our free stuff. So you don't have to go typing in or go to a browser, especially if you're on your phone. It's real easy to do. Okay, so just scroll in the descriptions, and I had my virtual assistant go all the way back with all the other 212 podcasts, and she put the link in all 212 podcasts. So from now on, if you want any of this stuff we're talking about, you just you just scroll in your description and hit the link, and it'll take you right there.
Nice one, Bill. That makes it easier for folks.
Yeah. Okay. So if you go to the that link that I'm talking about in the description, what you can do is you can just download my script. You can go to Text Expander for 30 days. You get it for free. And then if you like it, if you're going to use it, hey, John, if you're going to like it and you're going to use it, then pay the $40 for a year. And just do what I'm telling you. If you want my short codes or my snippets, as they call them, go to flippinghousesforrookies.com/free stuff. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. /contact, which is the top right-hand side of the page. Send me a support ticket, and I will send you. You have to send me your email, your name, and your email address. If you don't send me your name and your email address, you're not getting it. I'm not going to even respond to the ticket. So don't send it in. Don't waste my time. If you want the snippets, go to flippinghousesforrookies.com, top right-hand side, hit contact us, and say you want the snippets, and I need your name and your email address. If you don't send those, you're not getting anything. Don't complain to me. Okay?
Hey, Bill, I want to point something out to folks that we take totally for granted. If anyone's thinking, wait a minute, you just can't have a bunch of snippets and they're going to match the person's response to you, how could that possibly work? 'Cause it'll seem fake and artificial. No. It's a communication principle that there's a flow to a conversation. And once you start a conversation, even if the person goes blah, 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 and especially if it's blah, 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 you can just skip that and ignore that because it's not germane to the conversation and just ask the next question. And the person doesn't feel he's being ignored because the question is actually on task, on topic, and the person will answer. So these questions in the sequence actually work. And I just want to point it out. You and I know that. We hit that about a year or two ago when we were doing a lot of texting. It's like, holy crap, the next question works no matter what they say. Because it's the next part of the conversation. Ignore the baloney. Don't get taken down the cherry lane by somebody pulling off the subject. So this works because it's on task, and it does work.
It naturally flows that way.
Yep.
Right?
So I'll throw that in because we take that for granted.
Just like in the middle of a jungle, the water's going to fall off the edge of the rock because it just naturally flows that way. Right?
Yeah, try it in conversation. You ask somebody a question, they go blah, 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 blah. Just get back on the conversation.
Right.
You're just losing the conversation otherwise. Just stay on task.
So, good point. So, something that I didn't think of until just now, but when we were teaching, or when I was teaching how to use text magic. So in other words, when we taught how to do the virtual stuff,
yeah,
I was telling people that they could go to Text Magic for $3.99 a month or $2.99. I think it's $3.99 a month. You get a phone number, and you use that phone number on your phone, and you text people. Mm-hmm. You can upload a list of names that we would get from for sale by owners, an Excel spreadsheet, which was My Plus Leads. We would go to My Plus Leads. We would get a spreadsheet, upload it into Text Magic, and start texting people. Okay?
Yep.
That all still works. That's another way to do it. This way is a lot shorter. This is like having text magic without having text magic.
Yeah.
See, in text magic, you can upload the scripts. You can preload the script, so you don't have to type them every time. Mm-hmm. This text expander is the same exact thing. It's just a different tool to do it. Right? So you don't have to go get, if you want to send one or two texts at a time, this is a way that you can have the scripts uploaded for you so you don't have to type them every time. It's a shortcut, right?
Right. But the genius about what you do is, it's like you have a fishing analogy, like where's the fish? Go to the fish. So people go around looking for houses. We put signs up, and I'll still do that because it works, and other stuff. But there's already a bunch of people trying to rent the house. They're sitting right there. Why go looking for people when they're sitting right there? Just find them and communicate to them. They're right there.
Right.
So it's just, you're getting the shortest cuts with the fastest ways to get to people. It's pretty smart.
So, thank you. So, during the pandemic, I released, and I have not taken it down. I kept saying I was going to, and I don't think I'm going to because I've had way too many results from it. It was completely something I did on a whim. When I was here in Florida then, I recorded a video, a 42-minute video on how you can find leads on Zillow and actually send them offers. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You can find that at flippinghousesforrookies.com/virtual. It's a V like in Victor, IRTUAL, virtual. If you go there, you can watch that video. My point in sending you there today is not because to watch it, although you can watch that video, it's not to do that. When you do that, what happens is you go to, if you go to that link, I'm sorry, I got distracted from my mom texting me. If you go to that link and go to that page, there's an offer there for $37. Now, that offer is soon going to be moved to another place, but as of today, I didn't have time to do it for this week. But here's what the offer is. For $37, you can get this. Okay? Hang on one second. Hey, Cher, can you text Mom? She keeps texting me. Thank you. So, for $37, sorry about that. For $37,
Hey,
listen to this recording later, and I'll be like, "Why did I do that?"
Hey, I'm telling you, it's quiet, but at any time, I'm stuck in one house because my other house is out of power, so everybody's here. My kid came over, brought food. Yeah. My other son's coming back from vacation, could bring him a generator. My mom is sitting on the other side of the door, nice and quiet. Like the dog, the noisy dog, I got the curtains closed, the door shut, the music going, so the dog won't be yapping. But if you do hear that, it's my yappy dog.
My mom had an operation, and I'm here, and one of the problems that they're having is they have a bathroom door that's not wide enough, so they couldn't get their walkers through it. So while I'm here, I'm renovating their bathroom.
Oh, boy.
And so she's texting me like, Dad's got to go get money, and when are you coming, and what's the contract? And she's got all these questions because I didn't tell her what was going on. It's my own fault. Yeah. So let's get back to this. So we go to flippinghousesforrookies.com/virtual. Although the video is there, what you're going to get is for $37, which is an absolute freaking rob job. Here's what you get. You get and I never sell on this podcast, so don't think I'm selling to you right now because I'm not, because I could care less whether you give me your $30, $37 or not. I'm going to eat steak tonight whether you give me $37 or not, okay? This is more for you than it is for me, okay? First thing you're going to get is an Excel spreadsheet that all you have to do is put in 4 or 5 comps from places like Zillow, RealQuest, Redfin, Real Estate ABC. We use PropStream. You know, you can once you get you just type the address into Google, into the search engine in Google, and all these sites will pop up. All you do is you go from one site to another. You put them in the Excel spreadsheet. The Excel spreadsheet gives you the average price of the house, so now you know how much the house is worth. So you don't have to wonder if you what's the comp on the house. You just did your own comp. You don't need a realtor. You don't need fancy software. You know how much the house is worth once you put 5 or 6 of these numbers in there, the comps from different websites.
Yeah, and that's close enough.
Yeah, and the websites are in the spreadsheet. If you don't use those websites, you can add them and subtract them. Sometimes when I'm in Florida, I'll use Movado. In Connecticut, I would never think of using Movado because it's not from up there. You know, there's specific sites to specific parts of the country. You can change them. Once you put those 5 or 6 comps in there, it gives you the median price of the house. You put the square footage of the house in, and you put in how much, if it's an ugly house, you put in $25 a square foot. If it's a pretty house, you put in $10 a square foot. Once you do that, it automatically calculates 3 offers for you. It does a slot deal, it does a lease option deal, and it does a cash deal. Okay? It automatically does this for you. Now, if you're worried about doing a cash deal, okay, I don't want you to worry about that. Because as we explained in the last couple of episodes, especially last week in the one about fear, which was episode 212, why are you afraid of doing a cash deal? You're afraid of doing a cash deal because you think that you don't have the cash, you don't have the resources to be able to do that deal. Well, I'm telling you right now, this calculator is going to put you at about 45 to 55% of the value of the property. So if you make that offer and somebody says yes, all you got to do is send a support ticket to me, and I'll get one of my coaching clients to buy it, or I'll buy it. Or just go to your damn real estate investment meeting and just stand up and say, I have this house at 123 Main Street, and if you got the house bought for $45,000, say I'm selling it for $50,000 tonight for the first person that comes and sees me. Okay? Most real estate investment clubs have forums anyways. Go on to Facebook and just start looking for wholesale clubs in the forums posted in some of those Facebook groups. So just make a fee. Don't worry about somebody saying yes. That's a good problem for you to have somebody want to give you a house at 45, 50, 60% on a dollar.
Yeah, somebody will want it. Yeah, call me. Here's my phone number.
The reason why we do a cash offer is because when somebody sees your offers, they're thinking in their head, why would I want to take payments when they could just pay me blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Right. So if they think they got a house that's worth $180,000, they're doing some strange math in their head. Oh, well, it needs repairs, so I'll ask $130 or $150. Right. It's a very vague and very arbitrary way of coming up with a number. Okay. So you need to give the cash offer to do a comparative sale to your other two offers. So if they think they're getting $180,000, you need to let them know, no. We're more like $80,000. If you want to do that, it's the worst offer I can give you. That's totally fine. But if you don't want to do that and you want to get more money, here's how it works. I'll give you full asking price if you do a slot deal, and I'll give you 15% less of that if you let me do a lease option deal. Right? And the calculator does all this. So here's what I'm telling you this morning. It's morning for me. What I'm telling you in this podcast right now is, if you use Text Expander and use my script, you're going to talk. You're going to use me and abuse me because those are my words. So I'm going to be making your conversations with your seller. Then, if you take this offer calculator, I'm actually going to make the offers for you. Because all you got to do is put in the comps in there, and I've already done all the hard work and making sure that the numbers are right.
So you don't even get on the phone and talk to them live at this point?
Nope.
You just right straight to the offer?
We're not done yet.
Yeah.
So you use the offer calculator, and it figures out the numbers, the three offers. Okay? The second thing you get in this $37 is once you get the offer calculator, which, by the way, it's an Excel spreadsheet. If you don't have Excel, you'll have to get a version of Excel, but I don't know any other way to do it because we don't have it on Google yet. I haven't figured out how to do that with all the formulas. Okay, so the second thing you're going to get is a Word document that's an 8-page offer pack. Okay, in that offer pack, so the first page is a letter of the conversation you've been having, with just a kind of correspondence saying that this is Bill, I'm the guy that's been texting you. Okay. The second page is a letter of intent that has 4 offers, not 3. So the offer generator generates 3 offers for you: a slot deal, a lease option deal, and a cash deal. The 4th offer says to them, if they want to do the deal themselves, you'll consult them for a 1-month rental fee. So if they're going to rent for $1,500, they have to pay you the $1,500 in advance, and you'll help them do the deal. Just by listening to us on the podcast, you'll have more data than most. Okay.
Okay.
So just charge them $1,500 or whatever a month's rent is, and that's your 4th profit center. Okay. There's a lot of people on this call or listening to me right now or listening to us right now that would gladly want to make $1,500 or $1,800 to have somebody show them how to do a lease option. And I'm going to tell you right now that $1,500 would be a big win because they've never made any money before and they would make $1,500, which, by the way, will buy 3 months worth of coaching. Okay. The second thing is, if you have to teach somebody else how to do this, you're going to get a lot smarter yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, so it would be a good thing. Okay. So the offer pack is an 8-page thing. It's got a letter of intent, and there's 3 numbers from the offer plus the 4th bonus offer I'm talking about. It also has advantages of why the seller would want to do a deal like this, like tax advantages, and you would pay more, and there's advantages. In fact, it's so important that I did it twice in the letter. I named them different things, and there's so many advantages I had to put it in 2 different sections. Okay, and then there's a frequently asked questions section where there's questions like, one of the big questions is what happens if the tenant doesn't pay? What happens if they destroy the property? Now, here's the thing, Peter. This is why I get frustrated. This is why I blurt out in podcasts like this, because my listeners are being freaking stupid. They're dumbasses. Yes, I'm talking to you if you're listening to me. You want to pay me and you want to give me all this money to teach you how to say shit. Just go download the frequently asked questions section on my free stuff page. Write it 10 times because it's got all the frequently asked questions that your seller is going to ask you. I give you the document for free. Just go to flippinghousesforrookies.com/free stuff or click on the link in the description, which we just put it there. I mean, what do you want me to do? You want me to pack up this frequently asked questions, put it in my suitcase, and fly to your house and hand it to you at the front door? I mean, what do you want me to do for you? The link is in the freaking description of the podcast. It's on my website. Stop being freaking lazy. Go download it. Once you download it, get a notebook and handwrite it 10 times. If you don't have time to do that, get out of my face. By the time you handwrite it, you will be prepared to talk to a seller on the phone because it's got all of the frequently asked questions that it took me years to compile.
Yeah, you didn't make these up. This is from being in houses.
This is what sellers ask me questions, and it's me answering those questions.
Yeah. This is what they ask, and this is how you answer them.
Now, in the offer pack, I've updated it from the one that's on the website that's for free. I've updated it and added some goodies there. My point is that in this $37 value, if you buy the $37, just do the same thing with this document. If you buy it, handwrite it 10 times so you know what to say when you talk to your sellers. What are you busting my balls for about all my magic words and all the things? I'm giving it to you for $37 frickin' dollars. Okay? It's me making an offer for you. So you have my script and how I would text somebody, because I just told you send me an email and I'll give it to you. Right? You have, for $37, you can buy the offer generator plus the offer pack, and I'm not done with what you get for $37. Okay? It's all done for you. What's the problem? Plus, so now you take the numbers on the offer generator and you put them, and we actually have it so you can automatically do it, but I don't want to confuse people because I don't want to make it too easy, right? Mm-hmm. But because it'll merge right on there, so we have it so you could fill out the calculator and it automatically populates the Word document. You don't have to do anything else.
Yep.
But I don't give that out yet because we're still messing with it. So you take the calculator, the Excel calculator, it generates 3 numbers, 3 offers. You take those offers, you type them into the Word document, the 8-page Word document that has your name on it, got your address in it, it's got everything. It's in Word, you can manipulate it however you want. Now you send that to your seller. So you let me talk to your seller when you texted them because you use my snippets and my scripts. You let me do the math for you in the calculator because I'm doing the math for you. And then you let me write your offer to your seller.
And you haven't spoken to anybody live at all yet, right? Not at all.
Exactly. You had me do all the work for you for $37? Are you freaking kidding me?
Bill, maybe they don't think it's valuable because it's only $37.
Not only do you get, that's what it is, not only do you get the offer pack, the offer calculator and the offer pack, I also give you, the third thing I give you is for the $37, is the 2 scripts. So you get the text script, which by the way is what I put in Text Expander, was that script, word for word, okay? And you got a script, if you get on the phone with them, you got a 2-page script to talk to them on the phone. So it's like all you have to do is read it. Even if you fumble around and make mistakes, just read it. Don't even try to sound professional. All you got to do, Peter, is you got to call up somebody and say, hey, I talked to my partner about your deal. This is new. I wrote down some questions he needs to know. I'm going to read them to you, okay?
Yeah.
And just read the questions. And then when you're all done, say, okay, I'm going to talk to my partner. We're going to send you over 3 offers. And you never even talked to me. How could you not want to do this? Right?
Yep, that doesn't make sense.
The 4th thing you get for $37 is a 1-page lease option agreement. This is not the lease option you're going to use to close the deal. This is just, to do the deal, you're just going to use this to close the deal. It's literally 1 page. It talks about how much you're going to pay for a monthly lease, how much the term is. It's the 4 things I keep telling you about. It's going to be the price, the monthly payment, the term, and if there's a deposit, is all on one. It's on the option and it's on the lease. It puts everything in writing. So it forces you to get those numbers because you got to put them on the form. I'm shouting and I'm coughing over here. I didn't have a bottle of water. So it forces you to get those numbers, and you put them in writing, and here's what you do. You send it to them in a software called DocuSign, and there's other ones out there that cost $29 a month. You fill out the document on your Word document, you scan it to DocuSign, you send it to the seller reads it, signs it, and sends it back. Come on. Now you got a deal. Now you got to go figure out how to go get the big documents and get it done. Okay?
But you're getting there.
Okay? Now, here's what you're going to do. You're going to go on, I'm going to recap. We're going to go on to Facebook, Facebook Marketplace. You're going to go into the rental section. You're going to use the filter the way I've already explained to you. You're going to poke around and find some rental properties that you like in your area, cities, whatever. You're going to open up that rental property and you're going to send them a text. If you use my text expander and you send me an email, then I will send you, by the way, not only will I send you my text expander account information I share, I actually put it into a Google Docs form. I'll send you a link to that. In Google Docs, I made a index of my short codes, so you don't even need to you could take that Google Docs thing and download it on your phone and use it as notes. So all you need to do is just go into the notes, and when somebody texts you, just go into the Google Docs number, the notes, and look for the answer and just type in that short code, and it's me talking to your customer. It's done. Okay? You're going to send them a message, ask them, and really all you care about is getting to the point in the conversation where you can send them a offer using the offer pack. Okay?
Yeah.
You can send that offer via Messenger. You can get their email address and send it by email. You can get their text number so you can start texting them, which is not that important, the text number, to be honest with you. You want the text number so that later on when you want to call them and follow up with them, because you're going to want to follow up with them after you make the offer. So you want their phone number. So don't not get their phone number. Don't give them the offers without getting their phone numbers, because you want to follow up with them. Now watch this, Peter. You ready?
Yeah.
This is so simple I get mad. So on Monday, you spend, 15 minutes to 30 minutes on Facebook Messenger. If you use my short code, I did it on my coaching call the other night, In about a 5-minute time, I sent something like 10 messages while I was on the coaching call, showing it to my coaching clients because they were all asking me questions.
Yep.
So let's just say you spend 15 minutes and you send out, I don't know, 20, 25 messages. Would you consider lease optioning your house? Right?
Yeah.
Sometime during the day, you go into Facebook Marketplace, and to find your messages on the left-hand side, on the top of the page, it says buyer. You're the buyer. You are the buyer.
Mm.
So click on the button that says buyer, and all the messages that you sent during the day will be there. On the bottom of each one of those, pictures, in the very bottom, are the messages. Click on that message, and you'll see the messages you sent and the responses they sent you. Okay? Out of those 20 or 25 people that you sent messages to over the 15 minutes, which it won't even take you 15 minutes if you use Text Expander, it'll literally take you 5 or 7 minutes, 8 minutes, 10 minutes. You'll spend more time looking at the houses. I don't even look at the houses. I open them up. I don't care what the house looks like. I just send them a message. I look at the house when they respond to me. I don't even care what the house looks like until they respond to me. Until then, it doesn't matter because I'm not going to buy the house until they respond to me. Okay? Here's what happens. You start chatting with them. They say they're interested. You spend 10 minutes putting together an offer, and you send it to them. This is on Monday. So let's say you send out one offer on Monday, one offer on Tuesday, one offer on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So you send out 5 offers this week. If you can't do this little work, then you're not going to make any money in the real estate business. Go find something else to do. Okay? Now here's what happens. That's this week. You sent out 5 offers this week, right?
Yep.
Next Monday, 7 days later, you call the guy you sent the offer to on the first Monday. So let's say it's Monday and I send you an offer, Peter. Mm-hmm. Next Monday, I'm going to call you up and say, hey, Peter, what'd you think of the offers I sent you? And we're either going to have a conversation or we're not. They're either going to ghost you, which, by the way, my email says, in fact, I'm going to read you the email. I was going to do this because it's the end of the show, but let me go into my text expander. Hang on one second. I want to read this email to you because this email is beautiful. So you ready, Peter?
Yeah, and this email is...
This is what I send when I send the offer. So I put hey in their name. Attached is the offer I promise. Please take a look and let's chat soon. Just one more thing I would like to talk about before we move forward. I want you to know that we are extremely busy. If you love the ideas that we talked about, and I hope you do, I want you to be able to say yes, let's do business. If you don't like the deal we come up with, I want you to tell us no. There is no pressure whatsoever if this is not a fit. We are looking for a win-win deal. What we do want to hear is I'm going to get back to, what we don't want you to hear is I'm going to get back to you, or I need to think about it, or maybe talk it over with your other half before you can go any further. Or worse, you ignore our calls and hope we go away. Most people usually just don't like the deal when they say that. And in my opinion, it's a waste of your time and ours. So can we agree that we can either move forward if it's not a fit? What's that saying? So we can agree that we can either move forward if it's not a fit. That's actually wrong. Just tell us so we can move forward if it's a fit, and if it's not a fit, just let us know so we can part as friends.
Yeah.
Right.
Good.
So that's kind of what the email is, right? So we're telling them don't ignore us.
Yeah, that's the first thing people will do. Just just try to make it go away and just don't answer, ghost. But just yes or no.
So
Is that hard?
you send an offer on Monday, you follow up next Monday. You send an offer on Tuesday, you follow. And if you do this 5 times a week, and I'm telling you, within 30 minutes a day, you can do this. I mean, if I'd prefer an hour, but the old days I used to tell you, do marketing for an hour and talk to sellers for an hour. I'm not even telling you that now. I'm telling you 15 minutes. You do this outflow for 15 minutes a day, right? And if you're a thinker brain, you're going to want to go in and do history and comps. Okay, waste your time. I don't care, because it is a total waste of time. I don't even look at the houses. You saw me do it the other day.
Yeah.
I don't even look at the houses. All I do is look at the city. I look and make sure it's got 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, and I make sure that the rental number's not. I mean, I don't want to have a $180,000 house with a $2,500 monthly rental. If it's $1,200, $1,300, $1,400, I send a message.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, or towards the end of the day, or when I'm not so busy, I usually send the messages on my computer when I'm at my computer, and at the end of the day, I use my cell phone to start answering the questions. And I just ask them for their email address and their phone number, and I tell them I can send over the 3 offers. I sit down. It literally takes me, I don't know, about 10 minutes to do an offer, if that, 8 or 10 minutes, and it's done. And quite frankly, I don't want to do this anymore. So 2 days ago, I hired a VA, and she's going to be doing this. Why would I hire a VA, Peter?
Because it's only $4 an hour.
Yeah. I hired a VA to do this for 2, and if you want the name of the VA company, just send me an email and I'll send you the guy's name. They're in the Philippines, okay? It's $4 an hour. I pay 4. Some people pay 5, but I pay $4 an hour, 2 hours a day. That's 10 hours a week. Why on God's green earth would I want to do this to myself for $40 a week? I don't care if you're I don't care if you're collecting unemployment right now. $40 a week for a couple of weeks is like, really? Why are you doing this? What you need to be doing is being on the phone. So what happens in my world is the VA sends them out and then makes an appointment for me to make the phone call to call them up and say, what'd you think of the offer? So the only thing I do is call. They do all the rest. They go on Facebook. They do everything we're talking about for $4 an hour, and they go they make the offers. They do everything for me, and all I do is I make 1 or 2 phone calls a day saying, what'd you think of my offer? And which, by the way, out of those 1 or 2 phone calls, actually it's probably more like 3 or 4 phone calls, but the point is this, half of them don't answer the phone. You leave a message. So it's not even like you're talking to 2 or 3 people a day.
Yeah.
You're going to leave them a message, they're going to call you back, and then you're going to start texting them.
That's how it goes nowadays. People don't talk on the phone.
Right. All right. So is this did I deliver today, Peter?
I'm excited about it, Bill, because I'm doing some of the other leads, but there's only so many other leads when you use the other systems. And I was working with the wife, and we were sending letters out, and we're doing this and that, and getting some leads. I said, we're doing good. We just need more leads.
Right.
Because you have enough leads, somebody go, yeah, exactly what I want to do. So I said, maybe we should do rentals. And then we called, and there it was, rentals. You had this whole thing. I'm excited.
Right. So here's the thing I want to point out. I'm going to teach you right now how to be very successful in the real estate business and how to out-create the COVID virus. I'm going to teach it to you right now. You ready?
Yep.
Outflow. Outflow, outflow, outflow. What that means, the definition of outflow means to me, is talk to as many new sellers you can every day. And I don't mean try to close them. I don't mean trying to making them offers. Just find them and start a communication with them. Would you be willing to lease your house for a year or 2 without the landlord obligations and then sell it to me? Just get that started. I don't care if you even start with the old script, which is 123 Main Street still for sale? Are you the owner? And then use question number 3. Right? Mm-hmm. The point is that if you start conversations with new sellers every day, something will happen within 30 days. If you just make it a goal, then I'm going to start 3 conversations today with new sellers. And now it's even easier because I'm telling you. So Peter, I'm going to be completely rude, okay?
Go for it, Bill.
Something different. I'm going to be rude.
Why
Something
change
different.
now?
You're sitting on the toilet taking a crap, bring your phone with you and send leads. I mean, seriously. You're drinking a cup of coffee in the morning, don't read the newspaper, send some messages. Mm-hmm. Right? You're not that busy that you can't send 15 or 20 minutes worth of messages every day. And if you use the short code expander or the text expander like I'm talking about, it's like you can't type LO4 or LO3 and use the short codes and it just populates the text and you push send. You don't even have to proofread it. It's already been done for you. Mm-hmm. I don't know what else to do for these people.
I don't know, but if there is something, you'll think of it in about a month because you're getting down to like I don't know. There's a bunch of fish in that little barrel over there. Here's a gun. Go get some fish.
Right. So I'm going to end off. Thank you for being with us today. Remember that from now on, if you want any of our free stuff or any of the stuff we're talking about in the show, just go into the description section of your podcast, wherever you're listening to your podcast. Go in the description section. There's a link there. If you're on your phone, just push the link, and it'll go right to the page. Okay, it'll go right to where you need to be. It'll bring you right to our website, right to the right spot, and get everything you need. Also, if you could, please leave us a review. Okay, let us know what you think about us. Well, win, lose, or draw. If you hate us, then we read those reviews, and there you go. We make adjustments. That's how we got to be 213 podcasts. Okay. Also, subscribe to our channel. Wherever you're listening to us, make sure you subscribe. Okay. So when we're on, you know that we're on here. The last thing is that we have changed platforms. You can notice that in our live feed on Facebook, we've changed. The website's at the top of the page. We're using different software, and the reason why we're doing that is because we now live stream to Facebook and YouTube. Okay, so if you're a YouTube user, you can go there and you can find all of our videos on YouTube. Okay? Pete, thanks for your time today. And as always, we'll chat in a few minutes, okay?
Thanks for learning me again, Bill.
All right. Over and out.
Thanks for tuning in to the hottest real estate topics on the planet with Bill and Pete. If you want to continue learning how to buy and sell real estate without money or credit, head over to flippinghouses.club for some cutting-edge real estate wealth tools. Or contact us at info@flippinghouses.club.